What up, everybody? I was curious to see which mount is faster, so we're going to start at the North Ford Bog, go through the Forbidden Forest, past Hogsmeade, past Hogwarts, all the way down through the Goblin Encampment, all the way down to the South Clagmar Coast, which is the most southern part of the map, and I want to see which one gets there fastest. Here's the lineup. We have the Grafhorn, the Hippogriff running, and a Hippogriff flying, and the Broom. The thing we got to make sure while we're using the Hippogriff while it's running is we don't hit like a cliff or a rock, because it wants to fly. If it has any air time at all, it'll start flying immediately. I've actually had to re-record the Hippogriff running about 4 times because I honestly hit like a small rock once. I jumped off a cliff. I hit the bridge, or I hit a bridge at a wrong angle, and the Hippogriff just immediately started taking off in flight. And then the last one, I wasn't really paying attention. I just slammed it into a tree. I was like, ugh, time wasted. So reset that one. That's what also happened with the Grafhorn. The Grafhorn is really kind of hard to control. Especially when you do the mouse click and you start running, it's just a full-on sprint charge, so it's really hard to steer it. But for the most part, I was able to stay on the path with the Grafhorn. I think I hit a tree or two, but time loss was very minimal in that one, so I just kept going with that. Now, so going to the dynamics of this race, for the Hippogriffs, all I did was press shift for them to run at full speed or fly at full speed. For the Grafhorn, all I did was press shift once, that way it was in a constant state of running. And every now and then, when its action was fully charged, I'd press the action key, so it'd do a full-on sprint, dash, charge, whatever you want to call it. And it was a significant speed boost on that one. With the Broom, I completed all 3 upgrade quests, so already I was pretty fast with just the shift key and just speeding along. But for the Broom boost, I would press the action key until I completely ran out of Broom boost, and I would just start spamming it, so it was in a constant state of just super speed with the Broom the entire time. That's why you can see the Broom slowly peeling ahead of everybody. Some cool stuff I did see while doing this race is like the attention to detail, one of them being the coat. Like with the Grafhorn, the cape is just moving up down erratically. Sometimes you can break a bridge with the Grafhorn. I completely decimated the bridge. For the Hippogriff, like every single trot is completely different depending on what type of ground I was on. For the Broom, it was actually pretty straightforward, just wind in your face. Cape moving slightly erratic, but if you did high speed turns and whatnot, you could actually twist the cape on itself, was pretty neat. With the Hippogriff flying, I think that was the coolest part of this experiment. It was just the visual scenery, just flying around, having the sun right in front of you, and having the Hippogriff just light up every now and then when you hit the sun just right. And then because of the day-night cycle is constantly running and whatnot, the visuals is always changing throughout this entire thing, and every now and then sometimes the Hippogriff will like shine completely gold, which I thought was a cool attention to detail, so it shows like it has like an undertone color to it as well. I know I briefly just said this, but the Grafhorn is able to destroy destructible objects. It did shock me because I didn't think bridges in this game were destructible until the Grafhorn decided to, bulldoze through them, and the entire bridge just crumpled underneath me. I don't know if I included that one on this one or it was on the previous run with the Grafhorn. I think it might have been the previous run. But yeah, it just completely decimated a bridge and I fell down. Wasn't expecting that. Really cool attention to detail though. I did record a 5th video. It's with my character running the entire marathon, but I'm not too sure on how to incorporate a 5th video without it looking like a mess because, I edit my own stuff. So I left it out and it'll probably be a video on its own. One thing you might have noticed though is the videos on the left side of the screen are slightly bigger than the ones on the right. That's mainly because the field of view changes while you're flying versus running. So I figured attention to detail, you see a lot more stuff while running. So I left those videos slightly bigger. That's pretty much it. That's the reason why. Alright, I'll stop talking now so you guys can enjoy the rest of the video.
One less human to...
Not your best moment, Tyler.
Who lived here, I wonder? Afraid to fight? Someone's here.
There we go. We have the broom coming in first. The hippogriff right now is coming around the corner to second place. The Grafhorn is still running full speed for third. And the hippogriff, you know, trotting along to fourth place. One cool thing I didn't realize is while you're flying, you can't enter that cave. So the Grafhorn and the hippogriff running are able just to keep moving along the entire cave system without having to hop off of it. And then relying on the character's speed itself to get past all the enemies. So I think that was a big boost for them, but obviously you can't beat flying because flying is way faster than walking or running. Surprisingly enough, the hippogriff running was actually my favorite way to travel because you get the hooves and claws on it making different sounds on the different textures. Like right now it's running on a wooden platform, and to me that's just actually a really cool attention to detail which I thoroughly enjoyed. And if you guys did like the video, do leave a like, subscribe, it does help me out. But we still have the Grafhorn running right now and the hippogriff running. They got about another 2-3 minutes of running, so they are slower than flying. They're way slower. I don't recommend them at all. Like, the Grafhorn is actually really cool to use as a mount, but its practicality, it's not that high, you know. The broom, it's outstanding. You can pretty much do whatever you want except attack on it. That's kind of where the Grafhorn shines. You can use it to attack things or break things, but it's other than that, it's kind of useless. It can't get through certain archways or trees. It can climb boulders, but you know, a broom can do that. It can go through an archway, go through trees. It can climb a boulder really easily with a broom. Just go, whoop, you levitate over it and you go. Hippogriff, that's a cool mount, you know, if you want for style points. Depending on which color you get, they're all pretty cool. One cool thing I did see with the Grafhorn and the hippogriff all running is like the enemies interact a little differently with the Grafhorn. They kind of jump out of its way. With the hippogriff, they try to attack it completely because, you know, it's a bird monster versus a dragon Cthulhu monster. So that was a pretty neat interaction. We're almost getting towards the end of the video here. The Grafhorn is going to complete it soon, and once the Grafhorn completes, I do cut the hippogriff's time down because it takes like an additional 4 or 5 minutes just to complete the race. So instead of having just dead space at the bottom left screen running along and everything else is paused and just in a loop, I figured I'd end it there. Again, I do appreciate you guys watching the video, so again, if you guys can, leave a like, subscribe, and comment. It really does help me out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I heard something.
Cultists.
Missed me.